Hey, it's Old Gaming Guru. So I am going to go ahead and give you a quick update on my level 83 or 84, 83 Titan, who has now made it through 3 Ascendancy trials, and I do not have the materials to do the 4th Ascendancy trial. I'm going to give you a build update, my strategy with this guy, why he's been working so well. And if you want to do this build, is I think some of these tips will help you. There's some other guides up there that do similar builds, but I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm focusing a little bit more on my defenses rather than my offense, because I found the offense really is quite good, even with what's out there, as long as you get your resist up. And I do not have my character resist up yet in Chaos. So I still got to work on that, but I do have my 3 elemental resists up, and that has helped a ton. I did in the last video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this guy. So he is a Sunder Leap Slam build, and I use Sunder to basically tackle ranged mobs or lazy mobs that aren't charging me, and I use Leap Slam to handle large packs. And the Sunder is also really good if you have really picky or finicky bosses. Sunder does a lot more damage than the Leap Slam, so it's great for those encounters where you want to kind of keep your distance, like bosses and some of the rares that are out there, especially those ones that throw those stupid little purple orbs. So let's go ahead and jump into, I'm in tier 10 plus mapping now. And let's just go grab a map. Okay. And this one's pretty hinky because monster damage I found scales a lot after tier 10, so you really need to focus more on defenses. And I'll go through all of that in this build guide. So we grab that map. Alright, let's go ahead and wriggle it up one. Got some additional mobs. And let's waste an Exalt on it, and it'll probably throw something in there that I can't handle. Okay, more life. Alright, so hey, this is kind of a test for this guy. He's not the biggest damage dealer, but it's consistent, and it takes out packs, large packs, quickly. Alright, so we're going to jump in. I'm not going to tweak this thing to death. I just want you to get a feel for the build to see if you like it. So let's see if I got an open map here. And bluff. Towers are kind of boring to watch. You know what? They're quick, so you can at least see the play style and see what you think. So let's go ahead and jump into this one. And supposedly they beefed them up, so let's go check that out. I haven't been in a tower. And I need to get that one actually beefed up as well. So take it over and then go ahead and use that special stone that goes ahead and powers it. It lets me open up some new lands, and it also lets me get some additional modifiers on my maps. If you are not at least 3 or 4 modding your maps, you are wasting the map. I have got everything spec'd out in terms of adding additional complexity, depth, and rarity. I've taken as much as I can right now as far as I've gotten. But don't do 2-tier maps unless you're just trying to actually get that next level. Okay, so we start off and we jump in here. And oops, I thought I saw something there.
Come here!
Remember, they have all this additional life. You've got a rare. He's throwing chaos, of course.
Weakling!
I got like 75 extra life on this guy. These mobs have got 75% extra life, and that is not ideal. So when you got this that much extra life on your opponents, make sure if you're getting really slowed down by Leap Slam, go into Sunder mode. Sunder does twice as much damage. It's also AoE, and it also can trigger more than once. And it keeps you a nice, safe distance. Of course, you can get in a interrupted with a stun. That's one of the problems with Sunder. Whereas Leap Slam, it does not. So 75% increased life on these guys. Normally these packs would melt. And I got a quesadilla there. Dreaded guacamole. Okay, he's pissing them off. Let's throw down the hammer. Look at that, barely even budget. Okay, Crawford. Alright. You're going to see one of the aspects of this build is. I'm going to let this guy hit me. Block. Block. Alright. That is the secret to this build. Block and leech and proper skill choices. I got good regen. You really can't tell it sometimes here from my health bar. Man, I picked up that map to show you guys. This is not zoom, zoom, zoom. Tell. And he'll probably blow up. No, he didn't. Nah, you know, Chris Wilson's up to his usual tricks. He's pulling the old, when the mob dies, make sure it kills the player. So if you are, do not stand in rare mob explosions. Great way to die. Okay, so far no blue balls of death, but you can see this build is pretty tanky.
Enough!
And trust me, the clear speed would be much better if it wasn't for the fact that I am literally fighting mobs with maximum defenses in terms of life. I have not seen anything as high as 75%. Don't forget your lead slam is a defense in itself. If you're moving, it's harder to hit. And look at that. I've got all this leech, and I'm barely leeching anything. Yeah, I think Chris has got some serious mobs. You know, PoE was really hard to play. Really did a lot of mobs. And they just were incredibly tanky. Without a lot of modifiers on the map. And of course they had those incredible animations that, you know, basically one-shot you. Yeah, traditions continued here in PoE too. But I am so far right now
They're swarming!
deathless on this guy for the last, I think, 5 levels. And let me tell you, it's been close, but they have not been able to do this guy in.
Come here!
Health, which I picked up from my ascendancy. So, I mean, this guy is really in a good place right now, and I'm really liking him. Whereas, okay, my monk, love him to death. It's just, when he gets hit, even with an 87% evasion rate and second wind walking, he is gonna go down pretty quick. He does keep things frozen. He's not seeing the evasion mechanic.
In the right hands, this could forge something truly exceptional.
I think there's something messed up. I saw they actually had a buff to armor. It was good. Don't get me wrong. But, you know, they out so much. It's still a pig. I'm rocking about 90% armor here in my mitigation. And I'm also rocking twice that because I have double armor for projectiles. You see here, I can still take quite a bit of damage. See, the projectiles, which were killing me before, and killed my monk, have very little effect on me. I'm blocking most of it. And what gets through, I've got this nice hammer buff. Look at that, a light hit. What I'm really missing is one of my favorite nodes is reduced critical damage reduction. I have not gotten anything close on that tree, and it is on gear, but I have not had it drop yet. Another thing too is I'm trying to get 3 divines right now for a new hammer. My hammer is so hard. You see my Sunder works perfectly fine with 3. Okay, time for the hammer. Hammer time.
Weak creature!
Still experiencing the fact that you get actually better drops on your lower level characters sometimes than you do on your higher level characters. Okay, hey, I made it to the beacon. Awesome. Nice quick map. Okay. You know, you got to see me, didn't see me versus a boss. Actually, I know sometimes I think you're kind of a boss, just the rares. And I know some of you probably have the same experience. Now actually, let me go back to my things since I've cleaned this map up. Not the fastest quick time, but it's a safe one, and I'm using him to farm for some other characters. Okay, so let's just talk about my build. So first thing is what kind of items do I have? By the way, I did buy 2 items, and I'll show you what they are here in a moment. I had to, and I had the currency to do it. I lucked out and got a couple divines, and I was like, I gotta improve my armor at least. But let me just go over my character sheet with you here. Right now I'm running strength 430. It's not enough to run the highest tier gear, but what I've got right now you'll see is pretty good. So 430 is good, gives me a lot of health, and that's it. You know, that's what you're running strength for. This is a strength stacking build. Okay, my health right now is 3,200. The 15% for my ascendancy helped a ton. Spirit 100, I have no spirit gear, and I don't think I'll add any. Okay, my armor on this guy right now is 80%. Awesome. This is the game changer though, blocker. Get your block rating up. I'm just telling you, it makes a huge difference. I honestly, before I put block on, I was seriously thinking about giving up on this guy. Get yourself some block. It's just a must for armor right now in the state it's in. My resistances are all really, really solid here, except for chaos. And chaos, like I said, can get close to one-shotting me, so I've got to get that up. I'm just looking for the right piece. And right now I'm saving for a new big stick to whack things with. All right, so anything else here? 80% reduction. Block chance is at max. Just do it. You'll thank yourself for it. I've had a couple people message me and tell me that they put block on their tank, and they said it's totally changed their game's play style. So just do it. All right, so we got that. Let's look at my gear. Okay, and how we get to those stat points. Okay, here's my club. Not bad. By the way, it cost me all of 2 exalts. That's it. I bought the good base, and the rest of the crappy rolls are all mine, but I found somebody who had a good 115% damage. I got lucky with an adds physical, and guess what? Boom. Had a weapon that I actually looked for that and increased physical percentage and reduced attributes. By the way, if you're struggling to find a good weapon, look for ones that have reduced attribute requirements. It will help you get much better gear much quicker. Otherwise, I couldn't even wield this thing, I don't think. All right, so that's my stick. Helmet, mostly it's there for the resist and the health, and it's not got a bad armor rating. I'd like to see this closer to 800. Okay, this is here. I did purchase this for 1 exalt. Okay, this was really crappy mana roll, but it had life, increased armor, strength, and plus level to melee skills. Since I'm a strength stacking build, this is one of the things I invested in, and it was pretty cheap. So, plus I got some chaos resistance. Alright, so then we go down, rings, Okay, we're focusing on strength again, my resists, and anything that adds physical damage to attacks. Which you see I got here. Mana and accuracy is obviously completely worthless. My strength roll sucks. This needs to be 30. Right here, horrible for the fact it doesn't give me any resists, but it does give me a lot of phys damage and a little bit of life. Plus, the most important thing, here's where you get your leech from. Do your physical damage as life. It doesn't seem to work as well on your leap slam, but on your Sunder, you will top off really quickly if you use Sunder. And you can be half down and it'll fill the bar up. Okay, so shield. This is a pretty mediocre shield because there's no life. I paid 1 exalt for this. Okay, what I went for was increased block chance. I could do better and get a point or two more, but this one's good. It has resist and it has strength. If it had life, it'd be perfect, but it doesn't. But it had that and a lot of armor, so I went ahead and spent the exalt. This one here is actually a drop. So decent armor, movement speed. I'm not going to beat any Rangers in a speed duel. But anyways, hey, it's pretty solid. I added resist to it. So it's overall, it's a pretty decent piece. Other than the fact that it has no health. Got to get one with health. And all these resistances are just great to have one piece like that. My belt, I really ideally would like one with another charm. But this one here, I actually lucked into again. No, this one I bought, and this was 5 exalts. So it's got armor, it's got maximum life and resist, plus it's got strength, a must. This I bought for 1. Oh, come on, brain work. I bought for 1 divine. Well worth the 1 divine. The 2000 armor really buffed up my armor stat. And the 196 life helps make up for some of the other pieces that I don't have, and plus it had all 3 resists. This is just my beginner's piece. And so I bought it corrupted just like it is, and best divine I spent so far. I've got 2 more that I'm saving up to get a better stick. The good stick is costing about 3. Okay, here's another one. Obviously you know what I'm looking at here. Decent armor. Dexterity is worthless, but the maximum life and at least some resist is basically going to go ahead and round out this build. Okay, so that's the gear. Now let's look at my tree. And by the way, I'm not posting a POB2 yet because they don't have an import function, and I don't have 3 hours of game time to import or do my entire tree and my gear. So I'm going to wait till the import features in there, but just let me show you the tree and where I went and how this build works. Once again, Sunder, one of your main abilities. Okay, so you definitely want AoE and stun, and you also want AoE damage, and then any flat fizz or any damage increase with either your weapon or AoE attacks. Okay, so first thing here is I am speccing right now into Titan. First thing I got is the chest. Worth its weight in gold, especially if you're going to start running, and I am, for the first time, actually running Ascendancies more than once. I usually hated doing trials before. I really like the trial system here. It's kind of goofy, but it's kind of fun. Alright, so, and by the way, I encourage you to do that because you want to do one thing and one thing only. If anything, if you're just going to run multiple trials, if you're going to run multiple alts, get 75 honor resist. And so that's going to necessitate one of your characters probably doing the trials more than once. I am now at 75 honor resist. It makes trials much easier. I got hulking form next. This is a huge bonus. Basically it adds 50% to almost all my nodes that are in the major parts of a tree. Okay, so I'll show you the effect here in a moment. I picked up life regen and more life just because I want to be tankier. I may switch over and go to crushing blows, which will help me stun enemies more often, but right now, having an extra 600 life is, that's 500 actually. It's worth it. Okay, so slam skills and Earthbreaker will be my last. Aftershocks are basically doubling your damage. It's a key part of the build. You basically can get to 40 using the tree, but go pick up this, go to 60, and I am sure the map will melt even faster. All right, so I then went this way. I started out this way, respec into strength because I needed it. These here, you will get much better down the road, and they don't take up 4, so we saved a point here. Grab this. Okay, then I ended up picking these 2 up, and then I ran down here and picked up armor. Okay, so then I picked up the 15% here, picked up a little extra strength. I then came down here. I ignored all the shields for now. I ran down here. My goal is now eventually to get to more attack damage and area attack damage. But basically I'm picking up strength all the way and using intel and dex nodes where I need it, but I've got them on some of my gear now, so I don't need it. I did not pick this up at first, and this is hits against enemies that are burning, and almost everything you hit ignites. So, you know, it's your choice there whether you want to or not. Don't grab your shield yet until later. All right, so then I then came down, ran down here, picked up all of this damage, plus the extra stun buildup, and the extra area of effect. Okay, grab that. I then ran up, okay, grabbed this node, and so this is about mid-30s, and then came down here to prepare to get this node, which allowed me to wield 2-handed weapons in one hand. Okay, so that was my start of my axe. So that was 1 through 3. Okay, after 1 through 3, I then went up this way, picked up all of these nodes through here. Okay, because there's a ton of damage there, you'll see. And because of your ascendancy, you're going to, so this normally would have been 10% attack damage, it's now 15. Huge jump. This is 10%, or it would have been 10% rather than 15. Doesn't affect your majors, doesn't affect your strengths, but it does affect these ones that are in major tree forks. Okay, then came down and then picked up this just to convert all my costs into health. At that point, you need to pick up your leech jewelry. Okay, so when that was done, I then ran over and grabbed all these, because these are all good area of effect and melee damage. Okay, this came later. This is armor. Okay, at that point I was pretty well set up here and had most of my major nodes set up. Okay, so then I noticed I was getting towards the end of Cruel. I was starting to get a little less tanky, so I put my first shield buff in, and there you go. I went and picked up these block chances. All right, after that was done, and I finished maps, I added this one over here. Not that one, excuse me. Oh, I'm close. Okay, I know I added this in when I started doing maps. I added this one in for more mace damage. I then added Giant's Blood as I was coming out of Cruel. And where did I pick up my second set of block? That came much later. Oh, got my second block here too. Okay, or second armor here before I left Cruel. And I also picked this up before I left Cruel. Okay, so now I just went through and kind of picked up everything I could. I grabbed these down here before I left Cruel, and then I left Cruel. Okay, so I had more block. My block was about 50%, and that just helped a ton. So I had a decent shield and those block nodes, and that made a huge difference. I got it to 75% by buying a better shield, and then as I needed to get a better two-handed weapon, I picked up all these strengths. So I grabbed these strengths first in this. I grabbed these strengths, and then I grabbed vigilance over here, which also gives me some life on block. Not much, but it helps. Okay, so at that point, coming out of cruel and going into mapping, I then said, what other defenses? So I'm wielding a two-handed mace, one-handed. I've got 50% block. I've got decent armor. What else can I add to make me tankier? So after cruel and starting of maps, I start layering on additional defenses. And at that point is I had my shields up. Okay, I had most of my damage nodes that I wanted in. So then I started basically layering in more defenses. So things that I started adding in are like Prism Guard here. Additional resist is huge. This, I believe, came at that point. This came in maps, projectile bulwark. So I spent the next probably 10 points in picking up these kind of defense nodes. I'm almost done with my defenses, and now I'm going to go pick up the rest of my damage nodes. I know I will pick up this. I may go pick up some more attack speed. I may forego that and pick up some other damage nodes. There's an excellent damage node right here that reduces your attack speed. There's 100% additional damage with this Crushing Verdict. And then I'll also pick up these here. So once I'm done with that, so I've got 7, 1, 2, 3, so by 90, if I add these 4, okay, so if I add these 4, there's nearly 170% more damage. All right, so then that'll leave me 10 more nodes, so I may go up that additional 170% more damage. I may then pick up the rest of these resistances, and then if I come over here, I may take a look at grabbing, let me see how much it's going to cost. Okay, so I got those nodes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That'll take me to 97, and then I will probably stop leveling. So that might be the route, or I may choose some other options. I haven't decided yet. I may add some more defenses. I heard tier 15s and 16s are really tough, so I made some more armor and some more defenses. But right now my plan is to add strictly damage and elemental resist from here on out. And that's pretty much my skill tree. Let me show you my skill gems. Okay, so I've got a little bit lucky, and Leap Slam, as you can see, has the following supports: Martial Tempo, Heft, Momentum, and Aftershock. Also, really important, Leap Slam, get quality 20. Hammer of Gods is my second big damage dealer, or actually third. Okay, so I use this on bosses. I've got it 3 slotted right now with Second Wind, Splinter, and Heavy Swing. Splinter will break armor, which makes my other attacks do more damage. Heavy Swing will make it do a lot more damage. And Second Wind makes it pop up more often. And Sunder here is only 3 slotted right now. And I've got Fist of War, Long Shot, and Brutality. So Sunder blows away mobs if it's at a distance. Okay, so those are my 3 attacks. Primarily, I use Leap Slam. The other thing you should do to get tons of damage is quality and 3 slots your Herald of Ash. The slots, or not, believe it or not, for the damage that it adds, but you're going to add Herbalism, more life from your flasks, recovery on kill with Cannibalism, and then Area of Effect to make those explosions go bigger. Overwhelming Presence is your other buff. I added Vitality to it to give me more regen, but Overwhelming Presence helps you lower mob stun threshold, which is a lifesaver. If you can stun lock mobs, they're not attacking you, and then it's game over. Those are my skill gems. Okay, and the last thing is let's look at my Atlas skill tree. What have I done there? Okay, I only made one small mistake, which I haven't bothered to rectify yet. I should have probably picked up this node, but I picked up higher tier mobs percentage. Okay, I then went over and got increased waystone quantity, rarity, and then high road, which is 20% chance to be a tier higher. I'll probably pick this one up too in my next level up. Okay, then I went and added more rare mobs, more magic mobs, and then I came down here with we're just increasing mob density, so we get higher chance of drops, more experience. Then quantity of waystones I went and picked up down here, and my goal right now is to basically have higher quantity, more map drops, because if you're not doing that and you're not at least alking, least alking your maps, the maps do not drop as often unless you get a lucky RNG roll. That is my entire build. I'll update you when this guy hits level 90, but right now I'm really liking this guy. Like I said, versus Monk, he is a lot tankier and he's really good for clearing out those trials. So he's been a lot of fun to play. And now my trials for all my characters, all my alts, will be a lot easier to do. This guy is just a really good overall powerhouse that if he's not running mobs that are 75% increased life, and there was another defensive mod on there as well too, he actually blows through maps pretty quick. My average map time is between 5 and 10 minutes, which is not amazing for a warrior, but hey, it's good. Alright, so that's it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Old Gaming Guru out.